probably even before we were born, conditioned to hear and see and feel in terms of what is good for me, pleasant, life-enhancing, and what is painful, threatening, fearful, life-threatening. I just yesterday read an article someone gave me, written by a brain scientist, that pretty much in the first 3 years of our lives, these basic fundamental conditionings to go for what is life-enhancing, pleasant, pleasurable, good, and resist or recoil or escape from what is painful, life-threatening. All is laid down in a certain part of the brain in the first 3 years of our lives, and sits there sort of directing our response. But it is most of it. It takes a fresh wondering. What is? But the wanting, desiring mind hears something that may not be said, sees something that is not there, out of this tremendous desire to have the world conform to what we think and desire and expect. Unbeknownst, until we begin to notice it. Coming to a retreat, sitting silently, being in touch with the stuff that comes up. Most of the time we're discouraged by it, by the thoughts that arise, the emotions that are connected with the thoughts. The garbage, as people will call it. But it's interesting to see what this garbage is all about, to be aware of it, not do something with it. It's not necessary. Awareness is all. To realize what comes in between, what distorts our perceptions. So we're not deceived, but begin to question, is this really so? Is it what's really going on? Can I even find out what's really going on? I may be so convinced that I know how you are, because you've been like this last year, or always, or yesterday. So attached to our positions, to our knowledge about each other. Can we become aware of this attachment and question it? Not say it's wrong, not say it's right, but wondering about it. Wonder creates space and some light, maybe some wisdom about how we perceive in accordance with our deeply held beliefs and past experiences. To change from our rigidities, attachments to opinions and attitudes, to an open system, an open way of being, which is not stuck, not convinced, not assertive, but wondering and inquiring and looking freshly out of a new openness, which is not our training. Our training is to rigidify in knowledge, in beliefs, to defend it, to rationalize it, insist upon it. And this new way, on a sunny morning, on a white snowy hillside, this new way is questioning whatever comes up, looking into it, falling silent in the presence of the stuff that moves around in a human being. Thought stuff, image stuff, emotion stuff, conviction stuff, identification with all of that. This is me. My knowledge, as though it was part of this body which is programmed to maintain itself, to survive. And this programming to survive and to defend and maintain extends to all the ideas we have about ourselves and the world. All of a sudden they need to be maintained, defended, identified with this is me, my idea, my experience. If you question it or rattle it, I feel upset, anxious, or angry. Maybe this talking about it and looking into it on a nice sunny morning in a retreat can be of some help to reveal stuff like this as it's going on. During a talk, outside of a talk, in our daily interactions. Maybe, maybe not. Personally, I find that it does help and has helped. Whenever I have read or heard, attention has been drawn to these things by someone who can explain it or point it out very clearly out of their own immediate experience. It helps to see something in oneself. If I hadn't had this experience, I wouldn't so passionately try to convey it in talks and meetings. It makes sense. It works. Not all the time, not forever, but from moment to moment. Shedding light on our conditioned responses, bringing them into the light of day, and often to our amazement, if we really look without defending or attaching to a picture of ourselves, an unrealistic picture of ourselves, we're amazed to find how deep the prejudices and the assertiveness and the defensiveness, how deep they are lodged throughout this organism, living in every cell of this body, not just in the brain. But the brain is the storage of memories, seemingly infinite memories of what happened in the past, and the ability to project that into the present and future. An unrealistic world of ideas, picture stories, which we think are real, are representative of this world and of myself. But there is nothing representative of this world and myself. There can only be awareing from moment to moment what goes on. And how clear is that awareness? How clear the listening and looking. How undisturbed by what I want to see, what I'm afraid to hear. Because I see my fears and my desires cropping up, lurking there, and wondering about them. Not thinking they're bad or good. Just what effect do they have right now? So, is it possible for an ordinary human being like you and me to listen for a moment without the disturbance of expectation? Maybe aware that there's a lot of expectation here, wanting something, aware of it, and listening in spite of that mindset. It's been detected. And maybe I can listen freshly to what is being said. Is the mind chock full of comparisons? How she talks in comparison with him or myself. Better or worse than somebody else. As the mind plays with these comparisons which we've been conditioned to do all the time. Better or worse. Mind plays with it. It is programmed to do that. Can we become aware of it? Can we listen for one moment without comparing ourselves or others to something else? Is it possible? To see the urge to compare, to see it. And then we don't have to go with it. Because awareness, seeing, has strength in it. It's not the energy of habit, it's the energy of presence. Being here with what is revealed gives a strength not to have to go with it. Or if it's so powerful to compare, to expect, can it still be witnessed, this power of habit? So hard to stop, it seems. So hard to replace with presence. The presence of breathing, of winding, sunning, heart beating, all the physical sensations that are there. We may not be aware of them because we're so busy comparing or expecting. Can we listen right now to the breathing? Not I should breathe in this way or that way, just what's there as this organism gets its oxygen, exhales and inhales. Don't have to think about oxygen, just the breathing. You don't have to think breathing, just this austere listening. Austere meaning not embellished with words and knowledge, but the sort of what's there, simple, unadorned breathing. We have to use the words because we're communicating with each other. But as one listens, can one realize that the word breathing, the words breathing in and breathing out, is not quite this thing itself. What is the thing itself? In spite of the words, disregarding the words, which may be quite insistent, intrusive, because they're so conditioned. Not always. There comes a moment when one can listen, and the words don't need to come. But if they do come, can we realize that the word is not this, what's actually going on in an undisturbed awareness? And you may say, well, sorry, but my awareness, my perception is disturbed. There's all kinds of pressures felt. Can we listen to the pressures? Not just let them run blindly, but let them come into view, into feeling. They don't need to be known and analyzed. If they're there, they're there. What are they beyond the word? Maybe a difficulty in breathing or a pressure on the chest, solar plexus, wherever. Listen to it. Listen to it generously. Let it be. Not wishing it away, not wishing it to stay. That's a very fine line of being with what's there. Not wishing it to go away, not wishing it to stay. Sort of flowing with what's there. Letting it come and go freely. So, are we listening with a trained urge to remember what is being said? That may be there. We've had to remember things in all of our training at home, in school, college, church. Remember the words. Be able to repeat them. Is that urge there to remember what is being said? You don't have to remember what is being said. I don't remember what I say. But we can always look at something anew. I'm not worried to forget what is being said right now, because there's the ability, the potential to look again anytime, newly, together or alone. So, is that a relief to hear one doesn't have to remember, because there's all kinds of efforts, brain efforts going on if we feel we have to remember, or if we're trying to remember something we forgot. Maybe we all have experiences. We're trying to remember so hard a certain word, a name, a place. I found out that the best thing is to let go of that effort. The brain now knows that something should be brought up. And then suddenly, when it's totally forgotten that I was looking for it, the word pops into the mind. It's an amazing process. All these things that go on without any direction. Self-directing, self-organizing. This is what we are. No one there in charge. No director. No manager. believe what I say. Don't take it over. I'm saying those things out of own looking and discovering experience. And it's for each one of us to look and discover for ourselves. So these things that are being said here are not said to be adopted, believed in. They're offered to look for ourselves. Maybe seeing it at the very moment that the words are spoken or not. Then the brain will harbor it someplace if there's some interest. Interest has been aroused in this. And then one will watch maybe more carefully to see if this is really so, what she said. With this, I'm saying that in these presentations here, there is no authority. I'm not saying this to become your authority. Authority means relieving me or someone else from thinking for ourselves, just believing what the authority says and writes. But that's not the essence of this work. The essence is discovery from moment to moment. Questioning, wondering whether what one has heard and what may have a real ring of truth to it is really so. So can we relate to each other in a place like this, a retreat center, without authority? We may feel, with this question we may feel, or in the course of time, since the question has been raised, we may feel what a great need we have for authority. Some people have been outright angry at me for not providing that for them. One may not have been so aware of this and becomes aware now how much we feel in need of authority, somebody to tell us the truth. The life and the world is so confusing. Please tell me. And it's all right, I'm telling, I'm talking, I'm pointing out. But it needs to be found out by oneself. Cannot just adopt it. By which I don't mean rejecting everything or being cynical about what is being said. One person once told me she doesn't like what I say about authority because she comes here because she likes somebody to talk with authority. And by that she meant the person sounding as though she was sure of it, convinced, clear. She said, that doesn't mean I'm taking it over lock, stock, and barrel, but I want somebody to not sound wishy-washy, uncertain. So if you use the word authority that way, I think the deep meaning of authority is originating, origin. To speak from the origin of words. What is the origin of words? From where do words originate? Most of the time, the way we talk or write, words originate from memory. What has been laid down as knowledge in the past. And now we're wondering whether there can be a deeper origin of words. Not discounting memory. One couldn't talk if there wasn't memory of language, expressions. Expressions used before by oneself or others. But whence do they originate? This moment of speaking the words. I could say they come from silence, from presence, out of nothing, but beware of these words. They're so easily used, and we can deceive ourselves so quickly that by using words intelligently, clearly, we understand the depth of where words come from. And that's not a word. Cannot be captured by a word. If it sounds confusing, leave it alone. Don't have to figure it out. It can't be figured out. So, a little while ago, I asked, can we relate with each other without authority? And don't just say, yes, we can, yes, we should, yes, I will, but watch it. Watch it. When we're really in touch with each other, freshly, without a whole barrage of images and wantings and fearings, and there's something other than authority in our relationship. What is that? And you can use a word, love or friendship. Zuneigung. Somebody asked me, how do you spell that? Somebody who's transcribing a talk says, how do you spell that? It's a German word, meaning leaning toward each other. If we really want to understand each other, we lean a little bit toward each other, because we don't want to miss a word, or rather miss where the words are coming from. Where are we? Are we here? The breathing, silence. We will end here for today.